Pâte Choux is in a terrible need of a PR campaign in English-speaking countries. It's usually translated as shoe paste, which sounds like a footwear cleaning product. And the literal translation of cabbage dough might not be much better. So, what is Pâte Choux? It's the dough used to bake hollow, crispy shells for both sweet and savory dishes. I am sure you've had it in cream puffs and eclairs. This dough deep fries into the lightest donuts and poaches into puffy French gnocchi. The dough for the sweet and savory dishes is exactly the same, and today we'll learn to make it. If you're planning to bake the dough, turn the oven on to 400 degrees with the rack in the middle. It needs to preheat for at least 30 minutes before you bake. In a heavy pot, measure 120 grams water and 120 grams whole milk. Add 1 teaspoon Diamond Crystal Kosher salt or half a teaspoon table salt. And 1 stick of unsalted butter cut into about 8 chunks to help it melt faster. Set the pot over medium heat and keep an eye on it while measuring the rest of your ingredients. Set a plate and a sifter over a scale and zero them out. Measure 142 grams of unbleached all-purpose flour. Sift it into the plate. This prevents lumps in the dough. Now set a cup with a spout over a scale, zero it out and measure 200 grams of eggs. That should be about 4 large. Mix your eggs with a fork and set aside. Heat the mixture in the pot, stirring occasionally until butter melts completely and the mixture comes to a full boil. Take off heat and immediately add the flour all at once. Stir until no white traces of flour remain and the mixture is cohesive and not lumpy. Set the timer for 5 minutes. Put the pot over medium-low heat and cook, stirring constantly. Here's how I do it to avoid scorching and make it as easy on my arms as possible. Spread the dough out over the bottom of the pot. Immediately scrape towards yourself and flip it over. Spread, scrape, flip. If you feel like whining about this, remind yourself that if you burn some calories now, you'll be able to eat more puffs. It's perfectly fine if the fat oozes out a bit. You just don't want the dough to brown. My 5 minutes are up and I'm ready to incorporate the eggs. In theory, you can do it by hand. And in theory, you can run a marathon without shoes. But theory aside, if you don't want your arms to fall off, you should incorporate your eggs using some machine. The easiest of them all is a food processor, but I'll post variations for a KitchenAid mixer and a handheld mixer on my blog. Don't add the film that's stuck to the bottom of the pot. Without covering the feed tube, turn the processor on for 10 seconds to allow the steam to escape. Pour the eggs in a steady stream and process for about 10 seconds. Scrape down the bowl and process for 30 more seconds. When it looks like creamy mashed potatoes, congratulations, you just made Pâte Choux. As always, the ingredient amounts are on my blog, linked below this video. This will produce about 16 eclairs, or 30 large puffs, or 45 little puffs. Of course, your mileage will vary depending on the exact size. In the next episode, we will do this, and this, and this. So stay tuned, don't forget to subscribe, and if you're ever in the Boston area, maybe I'll see you in one of my classes.